The revolutionary power of softness, redefining strength for Black women. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm truly honored to stand before you to share some transformative insights I gained from my recent conversation with Chea K. Woolfolk, an extraordinary radio personality whose authentic voice has been reshaping how we think about Black womanhood. Chea isn't just a media figure, she's a cultural revolutionary, dismantling harmful stereotypes and creating sacred spaces where Black women can breathe, heal, and thrive. Her work has touched thousands of lives, inspiring a movement that challenges the very foundation of how society views Black women's strength and vulnerability. What I'm about to share with you today might seem counterintuitive at first. We live in a culture that celebrates hustle, that glorifies the grind, that puts the strong Black woman on a pedestal while simultaneously expecting her to carry the weight of the world without complaint. But what if I told you that the most revolutionary act a Black woman can perform today isn't pushing harder, but rather embracing softness? Yes, softness. That quality we've been taught to suppress, to hide away, to view as weakness. Through my conversation with Chea K. Woolfolk, I've come to understand that this perspective isn't just flawed, it's fundamentally harmful to our well being as Black women. Let me be clear about something. The strong Black woman isn't a myth. We are strong, we're resilient, we are powerful beyond measure. But strength doesn't have to mean hardness. Resilience doesn't have to mean suffering in silence. Power doesn't have to mean doing it all alone. As Chea so eloquently put it, baby, we've been carrying the weight of the world on our shoulders for generations. But true strength isn't about bearing it all silently. It's about having the courage to rest, to feel, and to receive love and support. When you allow yourself that softness, you're not being weak, you're being whole. This insight stopped me in my tracks. How many of us have equated strength with struggle? How many of us have worn our exhaustion like a badge of honor? How many of us have denied ourselves the very tenderness we so freely give to others? The truth is, embracing softness isn't about abandoning strength, it's about redefining it. It's about recognizing that true power comes not from denying our needs, but from honoring them. Not from pushing through pain, but from acknowledging it. Not from isolation, but from connection. Through my conversation with Chia, three essential truths emerged that I believe every Black woman deserves to hear, to know, to embody. These aren't just nice ideas, they're non negotiable principles for any Black woman stepping into what Chea calls her soft girl era. First, strength through softness. This might sound like a contradiction, but it's actually a profound truth. For generations, Black women have been expected to be the backbone of our families, our communities, our workplaces. We've been taught that vulnerability is a luxury we can't afford, that showing emotion is showing weakness, that asking for help is admitting defeat. But what if the strongest thing you could do was to allow yourself to be soft, to rest when you're tired instead of pushing through, to cry when you're sad instead of holding it in, to lean on others instead of always being the one others lean on? Dr. Nicola Mitchell's journey illustrates this beautifully. As a professional Black woman dedicated to empowerment work, she faced the challenge of balancing her commitment to uplifting others with her own need for softness and self care. Rather than seeing these as opposing force, she embraced a more balanced approach, incorporating self care practices while continuing her important work. The result? She created a transformative platform where she discusses women and girls' empowerment alongside building community and creating impact. Her approach shows other professional Black women that they can maintain their impact while honoring their need for softness and self care. That's not weakness, that's wholeness. The second truth Chea shared is that boundaries are your birthright. Listen here, sugar, she said. That little word no is a complete sentence, and don't you forget it. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and protecting your energy is how you stay filled up to show up as your best self. How many of us have said yes when we wanted to say no? How many of us have extended ourselves beyond our limits because we didn't want to disappoint others? How many of us have allowed our boundaries to be crossed because we didn't believe we had the right to establish them in the first place? The truth is, boundaries aren't just important, they're essential. They're not walls that keep others out, they're guidelines that teach others how to treat us. They're not selfish, they're sacred. They're not limiting, they're liberating. When we set clear boundaries around our time, our energy, our bodies, our hearts, we're not just protecting ourselves, we're teaching others how to respect us. We're not just saying no to what drains us, we're saying yes to what fulfills us. We're not just surviving, we're thriving. The third truth that emerged from my conversation with Chi is perhaps the most powerful of all. Vulnerability is your superpower. Now, hear me when I say this, Chia emphasized. There is strength in saying, I'm tired or I need help. In a world that celebrates the hustle but ignores the healing, choosing vulnerability is revolutionary. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. This truth is beautifully illustrated by Sabrina, creator of the Hood Soft Life podcast. Growing up in challenging environments, Sabrina was taught that toughness was the only way to survive. Hypervigilance and survival mode became her default settings, making softness seem not just impossible, but dangerous. Yet Sabrina discovered that this approach was limiting her joy and well being. She began intentionally creating space for softness in her life and documenting her journey through her podcast. Today, she's helping others see that a soft life is possible regardless of where you started through personal storytelling and vulnerability. Her work is reshaping narratives about who deserves softness and rest, particularly for Black women from challenging backgrounds. By sharing both her struggles and lessons learned, she's showing that vulnerability isn't just powerful, it's transformative. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This sounds nice in theory, but how does it work in practice? How do we embrace softness in a world that often punishes Black women for anything less than superhuman strength? How do we set boundaries when so many people depend on us? How do we allow ourselves to be vulnerable when we've been taught that vulnerability is a luxury we can't afford? These are valid questions and they deserve thoughtful answers. The Affirmations for Black Girls platform provides a powerful example. They recognize that Black women often face stereotypes that force them into their masculinity despite not wanting to be there, making it difficult to embrace softness. Their solution: promoting self care, self love, and healing as pathways to embracing softness and femininity. They've created a supportive community that encourages Black women to pour love into themselves first, reject limiting stereotypes, and embrace their femininity. Their work emphasizes that Black love is beautiful and possible when we heal ourselves first, creating ripple effects throughout the community. By providing affirmations and support, they're helping Black women who feel backed into a corner regarding their expression of femininity find their way back to softness. This brings me to a crucial point. Embracing softness isn't just about individual well being, it's about collective liberation. When one Black woman gives herself permission to rest, she gives other Black women permission to do the same. When one Black woman sets healthy boundaries, she shows others that it's possible. When one Black woman allows herself to be vulnerable, she creates space for authentic connection. In this way, softness becomes not just a personal practice, but a political act. It challenges the systems and stereotypes that have profited from Black women's labor while devaluing our humanity. It disrupts the narrative that our worth is tied to our productivity. It reclaims our right to be fully human, with all the messiness, complexity, and tenderness that entails. As I stand here today, I'm calling on each of you to join this quiet revolution. This isn't just about Black women, though we are at its center. This is about creating a world where everyone can be both strong and soft, powerful and vulnerable, accomplished and nurtured. For the Black women in this room and beyond, I challenge you to perform one radical act of softness today. Maybe it's taking a nap without guilt. Maybe it's asking for help with a project. Maybe it's saying no to an obligation that doesn't serve your highest good. Whatever it is, do it, knowing that your softness is not just a gift to yourself, it's a declaration to the world that you deserve to be whole. For everyone else, I challenge you to examine how you might be upholding systems that demand superhuman strength from Black women. How might you create more space for the Black women in your life to be soft? How might you shift from seeing their vulnerability not as weakness, but as courage? The revolution of softness has begun, and it will not be stopped. It will not be quiet. It will not be contained. It will ripple outward, transforming lives, communities, and eventually the world. So I leave you with this truth. The most revolutionary act a Black woman can perform is to embrace her softness in a world that expects her to be hard. The most powerful statement she can make is to rest in a world that demands she keep running. The most profound impact she can have is to be fully, authentically, gloriously human in a world that has tried to make her superhuman. The time for the strong Black woman stereotype is over. The era of the whole Black woman has begun. And in that wholeness, that beautiful, messy, soft, strong, vulnerable, powerful wholeness lies not just our liberation, but the blueprint for a more humane world for us all. Thank you